Good morning, friends, and welcome to the SBI Securities morning podcast. Talking about how our markets performed yesterday. Then the benchmark indices ended lower for the second consecutive session yesterday amid volatility, which was led by the uncertainty over the US trade deal and the cautious mood ahead of the Fed Reserve's interest rate decision. At close, the Sensex was down 0.51% and the Nifty was down 0.47%. Broader indices outperformed the main indices, with the BSE Midcap Index adding 0.6% and the Small Cap Index rising 1.3%. On the fund flow side, FIIs were net sellers again as they sold to the tune of 3,760 crores, whereas DIIs were net buyers to the tune of 6,200 crore in the cash market yesterday. For today, the Gift Nifty is trading lower at around 25,907.5, which indicates a flat to negative start for our market today. Talking about the US market, then the S&P 500 ended Tuesday's session slightly lower as the investors anticipated that the Fed Reserve would take a hawkish tone even if the interest rates were cut this week. While JP Morgan was the heaviest drag on the benchmark index after the biggest US bank warned of hefty expenses for 2026. The Fed has kicked off its two-day policy meeting on Tuesday, with traders widely expecting a quarter percentage point rate cut, despite inflation still running about the central bank's 2% target. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 0.38%, the S&P 500 lost 0.09%, and the Nasdaq Composite gained 0.13%. At the current juncture, the dollar index is at 99.22, USD INR has settled at 89.88, and the Brent crude is trading at around 62.09. Talking about the Asian markets, then the Asian equities have edged higher today at the open after a muted Wall Street session. This comes as investors are awaiting signals on the Fed Reserve's policy stance ahead of the final interest rate decision of the year. Benchmark indices in Japan and South Korea posted gains, while attention in Asia turned to the yen following the comments from Bank of Japan governor, who said that the central bank is nearing its inflation target, reinforcing expectations of a possible rate hike at the next week's policy meeting. Coming back to our market today, the key stocks in focus would be Hindustan Zinc, as the precious metal silver has breached the $60 per ounce mark, so positive for Hindustan Zinc. IRB Infra would also be in focus as the company has reported its November 2025 gross toll collection, as the collections have jumped 15.8% year on year to rupees 716.1 crore. GPT Infra projects would also be in focus as the company has been declared the lowest bidder for an order worth rupees 199.2 crore from the Northeastern Railway, Uttar Pradesh, for the construction of a bridge substructure, so positive for GPT Infra projects today. Godrej Industries would be in focus as the company's subsidiary Creamline Dairy Products has signed a memorandum of understanding with the government of Telangana to invest rupees 150 crore in setting up a dairy processing facility across 40 acres. With this new investment, the Godrej Industries Group total investment plans in the state now stand at over rupees 10,000 crore across the various businesses, so positive for Godrej Industries. And Anupam Rasayan will be in focus as the company has signed a definitive agreement to acquire a 100% equity stake in Jayhawk Fine Chemicals Corporation, a US-based specialty chemicals company. The deal size is around USD 150 million. This acquisition is expected to be EPS accretive for Anupam Rasayan, so positive for Anupam Rasayan today. On the IPO listing front, the shares of Misho Limited, Equis Limited, and Vidya Vyas Limited will debut on the exchanges. And on the IPO offering front, Park MediWorld and Nephro Healthcare Services will offer their shares for bidding starting today. Investors can refer to our IPO notes from our website. And that was all for today. Thank you for tuning in.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.